I can't release your trauma with my thumbs. It gets promised a lot. It isn't true, and I want to say that before anything else. But something does happen on my table. People cry. People fall asleep mid-sentence. People get off and tell me something loosened that they've been carrying for years. That part is real. I've watched it happen with my own hands on the person. I'm Constantine. I'm a bodywork and massage therapist, deep tissue specialist, and most of what I know I learned from bodies, not from books. So the feeling is real. The explanation is what I want to talk about. When somebody books a session and says I hold everything in my shoulders, they're not making a claim about connective tissue. They're telling me about their life. They're telling me they're tired and something hurts, and they've noticed the two things move together. And they're right. That's a genuinely good observation about their own body. The mistake isn't theirs. The mistake is what our industry does with it, which is to take a true thing a person noticed and sell it back to them as a mechanism nobody has demonstrated. So, fascia. It's real. It's the connective webbing that wraps around your muscles, your organs, everything. It's not a mystical substance, it's tissue, and it's genuinely interesting. It's also got nerve endings in it, a lot of them. That part is true, and it matters, and I'll come back to it. What happened next is a game of telephone. Somebody found that fascia has sensory nerve endings. Somebody else found that fascia responds to load over time. Somebody at a weekend course turned that into fascia remembers. And by the time it reached Instagram, it was fascia holds your trauma and I can release it in 90 minutes. Each step sounds like the last one. None of them are the same claim. Here's what I think is honest to say. Fascia is richly innervated. Pressure on it does something to your nervous system. That's not in dispute. What is not established is that fascia stores specific emotional memories, or that pressing on it retrieves them, or that a therapist can locate the shoulder where your divorce is kept. And I want to be careful here, because we don't have good evidence for that. It's not the same as you made it up. Those are two very different sentences, and people hear the wrong one. There's also the melting thing. You'll hear that deep pressure melts fascia, or breaks it down, or reshapes it. The forces you'd actually need to meaningfully deform that tissue are not forces a human hand produces. Not mine, not anyone's. Not with an elbow, not with a tool. If my thumbs could restructure connective tissue, I'd be far more worried about what they're doing to my own hands. So, what is happening then? Because something is. Here's how I've come to think about it after years of doing this. Your nervous system is constantly deciding how threatening a part of your body is. Not consciously. It's running an assessment. Is this area safe? Should it be guarded? Should it be painful? And a lot of long-term pain is that assessment getting stuck on guard it long after the original reason is gone. What I can do is change that assessment. Slow, predictable, warm pressure from another person in a room where you're not being asked to do anything. That is a very strong signal to a nervous system that's been braced for a long time. Your body gets information it hasn't had in a while. This area can be touched, and nothing bad happens. That's not a small thing. I don't want it to sound like a small thing because it isn't magic. It's the reason people cry on the table. Not because I found the shoulder where their grief lives. Because for an hour, nothing was required of them, and somebody was paying careful attention to their body without wanting anything from it. That's genuinely rare in an adult life, and it's not the same as fixing you. There's a version of my job where I let you believe I did something mystical, and you come back every week for it. I'd rather tell you the truth, which is this: I can lower the volume. Sometimes a lot. And what happens after you leave my room depends much more on your week than on my hands. If nothing about the week changes, your shoulder is going to keep having the same conversation with you. So, I can't release your trauma. I can make an area feel safe enough that your body stops defending it. And sometimes, that's the thing that finally lets everything else move. That's the honest version. It's less impressive, and it's the one that's actually true.